Welcome to Life, Language, and Lyrics with me, Laina, where you can listen to conversations that I have with some of the most interesting people I know. Thank you for stopping through. Now let's get into this episode. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Life, Language, and Lyrics with Laina. I'm so excited today because I'm being joined by my cousin. This is Tamasa. And we're going to be talking about just some things that we've been doing, and we're going to be talking about music today. So thank you for joining me, cousin.
Happy to join.
Okay, so first, Tamasa, can you just tell us just a little bit about, like, where you from?
I am from Dallas, Texas, born and raised. I've always been a city girl, but I have some country girl in me as well. Most of my family is from East Texas. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Currently, I am a research coordinator at a pediatric hospital. I also have some trying to dip my toes in some entrepreneurial things. And I have a jewelry business. I also am doing some YouTube, and I'm trying to take some pointers here from my cousin Laina on doing a podcast. So that's definitely in the works.
So you talked about some entrepreneurship, right? Can you tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial endeavors? Or actually, I know you have a YouTube page. Mm-hmm. So talk a little bit about your YouTube page and just like the type of content that you're producing.
Yeah, so I do have a YouTube page. It is called Tamasa D. I do some vlogging. Daily vlogging is mainly, I would say, the majority of the videos that I make. I also do some hauls and just everyday life type of content. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I watch them. They're good. It's like a different side. Like it's what like Tamasa that I see in person, and then it's Tamasa that I see on YouTube, which is fun to watch. And then you also have some pages on Instagram. And there's one is a business, and then another one is more of like content. So tell us a little bit about the business.
Yeah, so currently I have a jewelry business called Sandra Hill, named after our late grandmother. And I just have some sustainable jewelry, mainly gold jewelry if you're into that type of thing. I have a variety of different options, necklaces, rings, bracelets, anklets. So I have it all. And then also I have a podcast that I am in the works, not fully together yet, called Imperfect on Purpose. That is on Instagram right now, and I'm working on getting more social media pages for that. And then I also have my personal page, which is really linked to my YouTube channel called How May I Help You.
Okay, that's cool. So I'll put the link for Sandra Hill jewelry in the notes section. She does have great pieces. I have a Texas piece I'm usually wearing, but I don't have it on today. And so with your podcast, the Imperfect on Purpose, you told us about it, but you didn't really tell us exactly what it is. And this is something that's a little more like close to your heart, right?
Yes, that is true.
What exactly is Imperfect on Purpose?
So basically it's just a down-to-earth podcast where we talk about everyday topics on how God uses our imperfections on purpose to shape us and mold us into the people that we are.
Okay. What led you to wanting to start that?
I feel like there are a lot of maybe I would say, how can I put it? Maybe, some negative content. I feel like that is out there, and I just want to add some light to some of that and really speak about topics that are close to my heart, and just how, God has used the things that I thought were a burden, or just hardships, or pain, even disappointment, and how he has used that to change and turn things around, and just something positive for the people. I just feel like we need more of that. So I think that's pretty much what led me to wanting to do that type of podcast.
Beautiful. It made me think about the previous episode. I had Carolyn Malachi, who's a singer, and in one of her songs, she uses a quote from Nikki Giovanni that says, "Even my mistakes are correct." And so that made me think about your what you were just saying. So I'll also put the link for that in in the bio or in the notes section as well. And so I do follow the page, and sometimes I'll share. And what I notice is it's a lot of like, first, like beautiful types of like backgrounds with flowers or water or things that are like very serene, and then you'll have some type of like inspirational quote or some message that's related to, like, I guess, kind of reframing how we view ourselves, or how are thinking more about how God can work in our lives.
Yeah, just a reminder of what to see ourselves the way that God sees us, to be more intentional about that, because I can be honest, I'm my own worst critic. I'm very hard on myself, and I think that that's kind of relatable, and I feel like, sometimes we need to be reminded of who we are, and what God thinks and feels about us, and it helped to encourage us to just keep pushing and keep moving. So
right, I like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so one of the reasons that I also wanted to have you on here was to talk about music, right? It's life, language, and lyrics. And the lyrics,
everybody knows in our family that I'm the DJ. So.
Yeah, Tamasa, when we having to get together, when we say DJ, cut it up, that's who we going to, because she gonna play. We from Texas, right? So she gonna play all the down south, the Dallas music, the Houston songs, and it's gonna be hype. All right, so I had this amazing week of just filled with music, starting from Sunday all through to, I guess, Friday, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about the music that I experienced, because I wanted you to listen to it with me first. But first, I wanted to, because I know that you love music the same way that I do. So I wanted you to kind of talk about the role that music has had in your life. Why is it so important to you?
I think music is important to me because it's just always, I think it has the ability to really change your mood in a positive light for me. I remember being at high school, and like the first thing I did when I would come home is just turn on the radio, turn on my favorite music, my CDs. I used to burn CDs. I used to, I would pay $1 for, people at school to burn me a CD. So music has always been just like this light in my life. When I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling happy, like I want to listen to music. So it's always been, or played a big role, I feel like, in my life, when I'm with my friends, when I'm with my family. Like, we just listen to music when I'm in the car. I'm always like, I gotta have something playing. It's
like a soundtrack to your life.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And music, it it has the ability to take me back in time. I always think about, where I was in a certain situation, or, what was happening in my life when that song came out, or when I first heard, a specific song. Like, it has like just a lot of meaning.
Yeah. And that's true. I'm gonna be a little nerd for a minute, because our musical abilities, like our ability to understand and produce music, comes from the right side of the brain. And that is also the side of the brain that deals with how we produce and understand emotion.
It makes
right?
sense. Yeah.
So like if we didn't have the right side and we only had the left, we would sound like very monotone and like the dry eyes guy, right? But because we have the right side of the brain, all of that like inflection and the musicality and all of that is able to be processed. But it does have an effect on us, and our brains and our emotions and our moods and how we function. Because I know that in the first thing in the morning, I cannot listen to like anything really hard. I have to listen to like gospel or something like really calm and soothing, But if I know I'm getting ready to go out, then I'm probably gonna turn on some different kind of music.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Lay's Rum Cakes, where you can get delicious rum cakes made with Southern charm and most of all love. Visit me at laysrumcakes.com or in person every fourth Saturday at the Jericho Market in DC, where you can try all 6 flavors and even my Crown Peach Cobbler. Check me out. So the events that I was able to attend this week. First, I went to the concert of Peter Collins. And if you're not familiar, please check him out. He has a ton of YouTube videos, but he also has some albums that are on the streaming sites. And at the concert, there were 2 other ladies at the table with me, and one of them said that the best way that she could describe his music was love songs and prayers. And really it is a mixture of that. So even his songs that are like love songs could also you could kind of also still be talking to God with those songs. And the voice of an angel. You hear a lot of pretty voices, right? But this man is able to do these different little things with his voice that I wish I could imitate, but I cannot sing. But I say he uses his voice like an instrument. It's almost like it's like a clarinet or a flute or something. And he's just going through the whole range, and he can just make it do whatever he wants. But I listen to him a lot because his music is very soothing. And so I kind of made you listen to it, right? So we also did beauty shop today, okay? So I'm practicing. I'm practicing on some things with the hair. So I did my cousin's hair. I hope y'all like it. But I forced her to listen to this music with me, and hopefully it was something that you also enjoyed. But when you first started to hear his music, what did you think?
I think I agree with what your friend said. It's very soothing. It reminded me of some of the music that I tend to listen to calm myself, because I have a tendency to be anxious at times, and I listen to a lot of like smooth jazz and like lo-fi music when I'm studying, or like even reading the Bible, or sometimes when just working from home. I'll listen to that type of music, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. Just very like soothing, relaxing, calming.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. So like sometimes, especially like when I just found him like a few months ago, but if I was going to work and I knew I had a meeting or something, because the meetings always put me in a different place. And so I would listen to him so much, like on my way to work and stuff, and I would just be so calm and so peaceful. So I did ask you to point out like like the songs that were your favorite. And we're not going to play them because we want you to go and listen to them. But we're going to tell you the ones that we like the most.
Okay. So one of the songs that I like was You Got This. And I think that probably was the most familiar song that I've heard from him because it's all on TikTok and YouTube. And it's just a very encouraging, enlightening song. Like, I just feel like I could listen to that like over and over again.
Yeah.
I also liked Heart to Heart. That was really good. And the last one that I would say is my top would be the Song Apart. I really enjoy listening to those.
Yeah. I like all those too. I like all those too. But my favorite, so my first, I will say You Got This. I love that one too because he's like, you got this, you can do this. And sometimes, even when we feeling good, we might need that reminder, right? But let's see, the other one I like is Conqueror.
You know what?
What you
just to think about, I had a plaque that went on my desk that said that.
Really?
You got this. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So Conqueror, I like, which is kind of similar to You Got This because it's motivational too, but it's just like reminding yourself you are a conqueror. You are I think it also says like, I'm a king, you're a king, she's a queen, I'm a queen. So it's just like very like motivational. My favorite is Remind. I don't know if it's Remind or Remind Me. That one is a love song. But that one is my number one song because it's just so sweet, right? And to think of like all the things that he says that this person reminds him of is just like, that's a really great person. That's a really great person. Like, I want somebody to remind me of the sunshine, right? Or I want to remind somebody of the sunshine. Okay. So, yeah, so it was a great concert. I think, he's only doing like a few cities. This one was in DC. And what was really nice about Peter Collins' concert was that it was a very small, intimate setting, right? So it wasn't a large crowd. And so before the show, he actually like walked around to every single table and introduced himself. And he introduced himself and spoke to every single table. And then at the end, he stood and like waited and let people wait and like come up and talk with him and take pictures. But very, very sweet, very kind. Like, I was telling people, like, whenever he would sing a song and the audience would start singing along, he would like genuinely be like, y'all know this? And we're like, yeah, we paid to come see you, man. But yeah, he was just like, his personality with the songs just made it made it even better. It was just like, I was like, I just want to hug him. Right?
I feel like those type of people make you really enjoy them even more. Like, you know, you hear the music, but when they really are like really sweet, like down to earth people, it's like, okay, this is why I'm connecting to this music.
Exactly. So that's Peter Collins. So the rest of the week was actually the album release for Yusha Assad. It was, gosh, I'm not gonna lie and try to say I know what number album this is because I don't, but I do know that it's called Still Working and Winning, The Promise, because he has previous albums that were called like Working and Winning as well. So he's still working and winning. Okay. Which is what we all
working and winning.
Yeah, it's what we all trying to do. All right. So this was really nice because it was like events that led up to the album release. So first there was a night where there was yoga. So there was like meditation, there was breathing, yoga. It was very well put together.
Okay.
There was a yoga instructor, and then Yusha actually led some of the, I think it was like the journaling and things like that, and then played some of the music. So, and I guess I should also say, this is this is also uplifting and motivational music, but it's different than Peter Collins, because Peter Collins is a more like soulful, like singing, but usually it's going to be more, you're going to get some more hip hop. So it's rap, right? So there was that event, and then there was like a game night, and then there was a party, which we all love a party, right? So I also had you listen to those songs as well, and I asked you to kind of figure out the ones that you appreciated or enjoyed the most. So what were those?
The two songs that I really enjoyed were one was Signs, and the other one was Smile. I think that was like the very last song.
Yeah.
But I just really enjoyed those songs. The music overall is really, uplifting, and I really enjoy that. I've just recently started to get into like Christian rap, and it just kind of gave me that type of vibe as far as listening to that type of music and feeling like uplifted and encouraged, and it was just like a really good message in all of the songs, so I enjoyed that.
Okay. Is there anything you remember? Because I know like Signs, you kind of like immediate, you were like, oh, this sounds like something I've heard.
Yeah. It was similar to some of the other Christian artists that I listened to. One specifically his name is Holy, I believe. But it just gave me like those good vibes like that I get from that type of song.
Okay. All right. So that's one that I like too. I think because it kind of has like that church kind of gospel feel to it. And I listen to a lot of different types of music, but I'm kind of drawn to that first, right? And I also like Smile. And another reason I like Smile is because one, in the video, the main character is also somebody that I know through Yusha, and so that song, that it just makes it an even more special song, I think. But I also really like Promise. Promise is like uplifting, but Promise is like also you could like play it in the club. You can play it in the club, you can dance to it, right?
Turn up.
Because it's just talking about, the theme of the album is still working and winning, the promise. And but the line that Yusha says is, the promise is here and the promise is coming. And so I think that is something to, kind of take with you as well, like knowing that, you're, and this is something that I've heard him say, so it's not my words, but you're in the moment, but then also the things that you've been like praying for, manifesting, are the things that God has told you are also coming at the same time, right? And then the other song that I like is Jungle. And
that was a good one.
Yeah, and I mostly like that one because it has down south feel.
And we love the sound.
No, we love the sound. So I really like that too. I've been a fan of Yusha's for a while now, and I listen to a lot of the music. This album for me is similar to the previous ones, but it does have a little bit of a different vibe to it for me. And I also, one of the events that I didn't talk about, there was like a what is it called? It was a listening session that was live, right? And so he was like talking about like, somebody interviewing him and like talking about the music. And it was like a lot of this was kind of like, I guess it like helped him get through some grief or whatever, which I can resonate with because I was dealing with that as well. And so I think like the way that it's even set up, right? It starts out with like kind of like these hard like hip hop songs, but then it transitions into these kind of like soulful, almost gospel like type hip hop songs that kind of, it starts you off like really on this like kind of like high energy, but then it kind of like calms you down and brings you to some peace, and then it ends with a smile.
Wow.
So right. So that's my thoughts on that. But it was a great week full of music, right? And I just wanted to talk about those because it was two very different artists, but kind of with almost the same type of message at the same time. Good vibe feel. So let me ask you, I'm gonna put you on the spot because I didn't tell you I was gonna ask you to think of something, but when it comes to like feel good moments, and you have to find a song, what's your go-to?
One song in particular?
Can you pick one? You can tell me more than one.
Okay. Feel good songs. Oh my gosh, you did put me on that spot. This is very hard.
Because it's hard to pick one.
Yes, just one. It depends on what vibe I'm going for.
I'll give you, okay. If you had a rough day at work, it was just too much going on, and now you're on your way home, what you listening to? It could be a particular artist.
I'm probably listening to Maverick City. Yeah, Maverick City. I've also been into another artist, Madison Ward Ryan. She has some really good feel good music. So I would say probably if I was having a rough day at work, yeah, I'm gonna turn on Maverick City just off the top.
Okay. You are getting ready to go out with your girls.
Okay.
What you going to?
Going out with the girls. I'm definitely playing some Screwed and Chopped, some Houston, Dallas hits. Definitely. That type of music always takes me back to we don't go out much. Okay. Just getting older and it just doesn't hit the same way. But I definitely am going to that type of music because it reminds me of those days back in the day. So
okay. Let me see. I was trying to think of one more. Actually, I think you kind of said what I thought you was gonna say for something else. So no, that's good though. Okay, out of Chop and Screw. Who you going to? Or what song?
Ooh, I'm going with Drink Up in My Cup.
Drink Up in My Cup.
Man, hold up.
Oh gosh, I like Pimp the Pen.
Oh, do I know who that is?
You
Pimp
might. Well, I know that was when I was in college.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll play it for you later.
Yeah. I probably have.
Very opposite of the music that we just talked about. Very opposite. I have a wide range. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I think that might be it.
I think that I will add this, or I want to ask you this.
Okay.
So I'm very intentional, especially now, about the things that I listen to, the things that I do, just being intentional about the things that I'm entertaining on a day-to-day basis. Just being mindful. And the two artists that we just talked about, I will say really would be artists that I would actually listen to their music based off of me just being intentional about, listening to things that are more encouraging, more uplifting, things that just give you that good vibe feel. Yeah. So what is your good vibe feel song of all time?
Of all time? Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, you put me on the spot, Tamasa. Good vibe feel of all time. I'm trying to think what's in my playlist, because what's in my playlist is what I actually like listen to. So I'm gonna say good vibes, or just making it hard.
It don't have to be of all time. It could be just a good vibe. Just something that you are intentional about, or maybe a reminder of something that you are intentional about, something that you're trying to do, or what song helps you, just kind of remind you of, what you're being intentional about in your maybe purpose, or maybe idea or goal that you have.
You know what? So since college, one of the songs that has always like really like kind of helped me is Mary Mary, but I can't think of what the name of it is. What it's like?
Get the shackles off my feet, so
no,
I can
it's not shackles. It's not shackles. It's I just can't give up now.
Oh,
I come too far.
Yeah.
Cause I often need that reminder, right? Because sometimes it just be so much. Yeah, see, I didn't want to sing it. I didn't want to sing it because it was gonna be tone deaf. But yeah, that one, that's one that I don't know if I'll say like good vibes. It just kind of helps me get back on track. That one helps me get back on track. But yeah, I don't know.
See, it's not that easy.
Nobody's ever asked me about my songs on the show. So,
or what's the song that you could just play on repeat?
Ooh.
What's your go-to playlist right now? Like
my go-to playlist. Okay, so I have I have a playlist that's called Vibes.
Okay.
And that's really the one, like the past few months, that one has been the one that I've been listening to. And it has a lot of Peter Collins. It has this other, I can't think of her last name. But her first name is Brandy, but it's not Brandy Norwood. It has some Her.
Okay, Her is a good one.
I do have some of Yusha's music in there.
Okay.
And gosh, who else? That might be.
Do you have your phone?
Oh yeah, I do got it. Yeah, so my vibes list, but I have like different lists for different things. So like when I'm baking, I have a down home list.
Oh, okay.
And I listen to a lot of like old school like blues, like old school, like Hole in the Wall. Even some country. A little mixture of country in there. So that's kind of like where I've been here lately. And then I like Toby Nwigwe. I like Kendrick Lamar a lot. So that's pretty much what I go to. You got any more questions for me?
I think that was
okay. No, that was great.
But I will say that listening to the song Signs, that really, really spoke to me, because when you think about like how good God has been, just coming off the top with that, I was like, oh, okay, he got me with that.
You said that's your song?
Yeah. He got me with that.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you think about the past few years.
Yeah, it's been some tough times for sure.
It has been rough, right?
But like there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you see yourself on the other side, like, okay. It gets better.
It does. It really does. And I hope that anybody who's watching this that may be having a hard time, I hope you know that it gets better. Listen to these songs we just talked about today, because you're going to feel better after you do.
Because I did.
Okay, Tamasa, thank you for joining me, cousin.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm going to have you back.
Okay.
We're going to talk about music again.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess that means I didn't do too bad.
Oh, how I enjoyed this episode with my cousin. and just listening to really great music and vibing out. Please check out the artists that we talked about in this episode. I'm going to put their info in the captions and the bio so you can get right to them, purchase their music, and just, enjoy the vibes. Until the next time.